What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Yours truly, Kendrick Knight here, back again with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Episode 11 of the Beneath the Surface podcast with yours truly. And again, I'm solo. And man, what are we talking about today? What are we talking about today? And it's all about fears and what makes me hesitant, what makes me fearful and afraid and scared of loving someone again. Like, what are those top two fears that I would say when it comes to the thought or the idea or the action that is being in a relationship again, right? For anyone out there that truly knows me, knows that the idea is marriage and kids and that happily ever after. And obviously, to get to that point, it's the little steps, right? Getting to know someone, talking, the honeymoon phase, right? Understanding this person, understanding, the positives, the negatives, the indifference, the what makes this person, right? Um, but just before we even get into the actual relationship, what my number one fear as far as a relationship it's in itself, right, is the thought of dying alone. Yeah. I would say for me that is a fear of mine because again, like I said, the goal is marriage and kids and wanting someone to spend my life with, someone to spend forever with. Dying alone. You know what I'm saying? I am someone who've always dedicated myself on wanting companionship, wanting someone to walk down this mile with, um, called life, um, and having that person to lean on and having that person to go to whenever I'm in a mood. Someone that I can um, just enjoy life with, right? Enjoy the fruits of both of our labors of with, and you know what I'm saying. Like that's just what I've always wanted. Um, and what comes out of that, of course, is one of God's greatest creations, which is children, and not being able to have kids would be devastation for me. It would be horrible. It would be just awful for me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the tip top of the mountaintop for me. Like that's it. You know what I mean? Like of course having a wife and putting a ring on her finger is an amazing thing. But right next to it, if not slightly over that, is bring a God's creation, God's blessing into this world. My son or my daughter, you know what I'm saying? Like that's man. I've always told myself this. Of course, I have my own goals. Of course, I have my own um, aspirations as an individual. Like, yes, absolutely. But 5, 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years down the line, or whenever, however long God feels like I should live this life, and I'm on my deathbed and I'm looking at the sky and I'm looking around and I'm just rethinking my life. And I'm telling myself, and I'm having this moment where I'm saying, man, I didn't have the opportunity to marry someone. I never had the opportunity, the greatest opportunity, to call this kid my son or my daughter. That is, just thinking about it now, that's like the ultimate failure. Yes, I'm on TV doing this. Yes, I'm on podcasts. I'm doing TV. I'm doing movies. I'm doing everything that I've ever wanted to do as an individual. But without those two, like that's a failure to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I would like to share this life with someone. I would like to share my ideas with my partner at night. I would like to share what goes on in here with my partner. And I would like to share what goes on in here also with my partner, but also with my seed and with someone that I know is going to keep this in here. It goes in and it stays in. You know what I mean? Like knowing that there's a little Kendrick in the world. Yeah, that excites me. That really gets me going. And so, man, without that, it's a failure. Life will be a failure without that. You know, that's how important it is for me to be married one day. That's important. That's how important it is for me to have kids one day. Like it would be a failure of a life if I didn't have that. 100%. Um, just that visual of me being on either a podium or a stage, and I have two, three, four of maybe five of my best guys in the world to my left, and I'm looking at a sea of people. My family's on here on this side. My mom's there. Um, my grandma's there. My partner's, family and friends are on this side. Her three, four, five, women are right there. And I see her coming. Like that visual it has to happen for me. Like that visual for me, something that I've dreamt of for years. I can't give that up. You know what I'm saying? That's something that is a must for me. 100%. Um, and just the idea of wanting and being a father, um, man, that's like the greatest honor in the world. Knowing that you have the responsibility, it's literally on you to teach this kid life. You are responsible. You have the say so. You have the greatest opportunity to raise someone in this crazy world, and it's dependent on you, and of course your partner, but also especially if it's a boy, like you're the example of what a man should be and what that young man is going to be. You know what I mean? And so, and even when if it's a girl, like as a man, how you treat her and how you treat the mother, right, based off of what you do, how you come across, what you say, she's going to judge how um she's going to judge you based off of the men that she's going to see. Oh, my dad doesn't do that. My dad does this, my dad does that. That's the example. You're setting the example of what kind of man that she wants eventually. You know what I'm saying? So there's so much responsibility there. I've always said that's my biggest fear in life. Um, that's one of my biggest fears, being a dad, because of that responsibility and just me being the overthinker that I am. Like, can I do that? Am I up for the task? But it doesn't scare me away from it. Like, of course, like I want that. I want that pressure. I want that scary moments. Um, and so, yeah, man, that's my fear overall when it comes to a relationship or the idea of it. Like, I don't want to die alone. Like, I don't want to, like I said, be on my deathbed and I look to my left and I look to my right and there's no one there to call my wife. There's no one there that I can call my son or my daughter. You know, that's I can't do that. You know, I can't do that. I can't go out that way. I can't do it, man. Um, but yeah, that's a fear when it comes to that's my hesitation with that. But yeah, speaking of hesitation, my second fear when it comes to a relationship is someone just out of nowhere leaving, if that makes sense, right? Someone just waking up one day, it's like, you know what, I'm just tired of Kendra. Like, I'm done. Um, whether it's a misunderstanding, miscommunication, or argument, disagreement, rather than have a conversation and like say like what happened, you're using that opportunity to just bounce. Or just in general, man, like anything that I do, anything that I say, how I come across, that scares me. Like, is this person going to use that as her fuel to just bounce and just leave? Like, that scares me. Um, hence the reason why I press myself so hard on wanting to be quote unquote perfect. Because if I mess up in any capacity, I feel like, oh, this person is going to leave. Um, this person is going to use this as their way to be short with me and and slowly but surely find her way out. I didn't learn this until my last relationship, where a woman can still be with you, but she's emotionally, physically, and just all around just done with you. So whenever it is time for that person to leave, when she leaves, it's not as hurtful. It's not as traumatizing because she's already been done with you for X amount of time. You know what I'm saying? She's just been biding her time, trying to give you chance after chance, um, or trying to figure out how to end things. You know what I'm saying? I learned that the hard way, like I said, with my last relationship. Um, Whereas, man, like I was just devastated. Like I was just like, man, are you serious? What? For real? And it came across to me to her like she didn't care. And it's like, what? Like, how can you spend so much time with someone? So many memories, so many laughs, smiles, so many intimate moments. And now, boom, you relied this message on me, and it's like as if it didn't really matter to you. Um, but yeah, I learned that the hard way. That someone, not even just women, like a man can do this too, where they can just mentally check out, they can physically check out, um, mentally, physically, emotionally check out, and whenever they find the time, find the moment, and just done, boom, and you're left picking up your own heart from the pieces that it broke. You know, Um, and so, yeah, that's a fear of mine where, you know, someone just leaving out of nowhere. Um, like I said, leaving after a disagreement, after an argument. Whereas for me, I am the type of person where even if there is an argument, even if there is a disagreement, I don't like things to linger. Like, nah, let's talk about this now. I don't want to just like, like just leave and then can't try to come back, or vice versa. You try to come back and we're having a whole different conversation about something totally different than what we just went back and forth about. Like, nah, I ain't with that. Like, let's talk about this. Let's have a conversation. Let's be adults. Let's agree to disagree and be like, okay, like I have a better understanding now. Still don't agree, but at the same time, like you're my woman, you're my wife. Okay, cool. What can I do to accommodate? What can I do more or less of to avoid this situation again? Not trying to avoid fighting, but at the same time, for this particular situation, holding my end of the stick. Like, okay, like what can I do? You know what I'm saying? And so um yeah, someone using that as their fuel to leave. Um, yeah, someone just getting tired of me, because I'm not the greatest person in the world. Um, you know, I have little flaws here and there. Like I said, like I overthink. Um, you know, man, yeah, I overthink. I can be a bit, not a bit, a lot, a bit overprotective, and I don't know why. Well, I can see why, but like certain women can view that as jealousy, where you're being overprotective when it comes to guys, but at the same time, to them, it comes across as if you're jealous of the attention or just the friendship that this guy and your woman has. Whereas for me, I know what it's like. I've been there. I've done that. I played the game. I've been that guy that plays the friend role, trying to get close to the women. Then when there's a moment, you strike and you either sink or swim. You know what I mean? So like I know what it's like. So like now that I'm on the other side of it, when a woman says she has guy friends, like it's a immediate red alert, not towards you, because I accept you for who you are. Like I'm not one of those people where it's like it's between me or them. Make a choice. Nah, like I accept you for you, and what comes with accepting you is your friends, your family, what you do, how you choose to live your life, and so on and so on. You know what I mean? And so I've never been one of those guys where it's between me or this person. It's between me or this group of people. Like that's not fair. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, you put me in a situation. Now I have to choose between so and so and so and so. You know, um, and so that just goes back to just like what's fair is fair and just being respectful. You feel what I'm saying? And so yeah, man, I can be a bit overprotective in a sense of it's all about being the man, right? And being there for your woman and knowing that she's good, she's protected, and going far and beyond, whether that's physically against someone that does or says something out of the way, or just literally checking someone uh, that does or says something out of the way. Um, and so that overprotective brain would never shut off, but I've learned to calm it down. I've learned to know my place when to turn up or turn down, or just keep it neutral. You know what I mean? But earlier in my life, high school, college, yeah, it was horrible. I push a lot of women away because of that. But I've learned to relax sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, relax, bro. It's all good. Like, she understands, she gets it. Like, you're a man. Like, you got to do what you got to do. But like, don't go a little too crazy. You're going a little too crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, relax, Ken. But yeah, I can be a lot of it overprotective when it comes to my woman, and just wanting to be there for her, wanting to be there, wanting to be present, and not taking shit from anyone. You know what I mean? Like, that's your role as the masculine one, to like um protect, period. And so it's one of those things that my dad told me when I was real young, where um regardless of the situation, always make sure the people that you love are protected. And like always, like I took that, ran with it, took it seriously, and it followed me up to now when I'm 28 years old within romantic partners. And so man, like, that's just how I roll with that. Um and yeah. I think also too, because I was thinking about this at work, where, like I said before on here, I used to be that guy that was the chaser. I used to be that guy where it's literally your world and I'm just living in it and feeling like I don't have a voice, right? Um, and I'm just going along with shit, and I'm just going along with whatever you want to do. Whereas now, I feel like I found my voice now. And I feel like it's a great thing, but I could be a bit of a a-hole at times, where it's like, if I don't feel comfortable, if I don't feel like, if I don't like something, if I don't care for something, like, I'm going to say something. You may not like the manner that I may say it, um or how I come across. But like, I just believe in saying how you feel. And again, like, I know what it's like to not say how you feel. And so because of that, it's important for me to speak my mind and say, hey, I don't appreciate that. Or I'm not comfortable with this. Or um I don't like it when you do this. I don't like it when you say this, because it makes me feel like this. You know what I mean? And so it's very, very important to speak your mind and say what's on your mind, to make sure that your partner isn't crossing any boundaries, right? Because how would they know where you're not speaking? How would they know that what they do or what they say is triggering you? Because you're not speaking up, you're not using your voice. Again, I know what this is like. It's important to say what's in your head, even if it comes across mean or assholish, or um dare I say disrespectful, but at the same time, well, maybe not disrespectful, but like, it's because your tone matters, but at the same time, it's also important to say how you feel. Um, and so, but yeah, man, it's important to speak your mind, say how you feel, so you guys can have like a equal playing ground, equal share of feelings, emotions, and um, just talking points. You know what I mean? And so, um, I would say, yeah, again, tone. Your tone, voice is very important. How you come across is very important. It could be the simplest things that you have to say, but it's just how you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So like, it's important. Um, but yeah. Um, again, I learned this in my last relationship. Speaking your mind can make or break the relationship. Um, with my previous partner, she was one of those where if I was the same person, middle, high school, college, we will still be together because she literally we're used to guys where it's her world and everybody else was living in it. And she never really got pushback on certain things that she did and certain things that she say and how she came across. It's just like it was what it was. Whereas for me, like I don't appreciate this. I don't appreciate that. I would like for you to do this more for me to calm my overthinking brain down. And I feel like my tone of voice was solid. Of course I had moments where I was upset and pissed off about certain things. Um, but I never allowed it to get to a point where it was disrespectful or demeaning, right? Um, and so like that's where most of our arguments came from, where it's like she wasn't used to someone checking her. Maybe not check. Well, I guess you can say check, but like I don't look at it like that. Like I looked at it as me addressing how I felt about certain things that was done, certain things that was said, some things that I felt like could have been avoided. Like, you know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, I learned that it's important to speak your mind and say how you feel. And I feel like in that situation, I was with someone that wanted to be in a relationship, but wasn't willing to make the adjustments that there is to make to continue to remain in a relationship, if that makes sense. I feel like I was with someone, to repeat myself, that wanted to be in a relationship, but someone that wasn't willing to make the adjustments or do the work that there is to do to remain in a relationship. That's the best way for me to explain that. Um, and so, like I said, it was what it was. I learned from that situation. I'll forever have love for her. Like it was what it was. Um, and so live and learn. You know what I'm saying? And so, um, but yeah, it's important to speak your mind um and just be upfront. Like hell yeah, like I'm an overthinker. Yeah, I'm overprotective. Um Jealous. I'm not a jealous person. I'm not a jealous person. Um High school Kendrick, for sure. Middle school Kendrick, for sure. College, a tad bit. Hell yeah. Because at those times, Kendrick wasn't secure within himself. Um, Nowadays, hell no. Like I know who I am. I know where I want to be, and I know what I bring forth in a relationship. So why would I ever be jealous? That's just crazy to me. But I let people think what they want. Um, but yeah, overprotective, overthinking, the need, the need of wanting to be perfect. Is a flaw for me of mine, and um, I feel like those are like The main three flaws that I have, um, yeah, that's all I really got that I can think of off top flaws that I have. Um, okay. I feel like I mentioned before, like when my dad passed away, I never really had anyone to sit me down and say, "Hey, this is how you should treat a woman. This is what women like. This is what a woman prefer. This is what, a woman would like her man to do." Like I had to learn these qualities along the way with different women. Whereas the I forgot what rule it is. Like the rule when like we're walking on the sidewalk, like the man is supposed to be the one that walks close to the road. I didn't learn that. I didn't know that until I got into a relationship. Um, and that was a red flag for that particular woman. Um, I didn't know anything about being assertive um and making plans and doing this and doing that and taking that lead of a relationship until an actual relationship. It's like, oh, okay. I didn't really okay. Um, because I've always been that guy where um again, literally your world. So whatever you want to do, like I'm with it. Okay. Oh, you want to go here? Okay, cool. All right. I was always that guy. Yeah. And so, I learned those qualities along the way. Um, speaking, not wanting to be negative, but also just like speaking your mind. Again, going back to what I said, is speaking your mind. Even though this may hurt this person, but they're gonna respect it because you spoke you spoke your mind. You said how you felt. Um, prime example, like there was a young woman that I was talking to at one point in time, and where she was and where I was at those moments, we were on different spectrums of money and financially. She was pretty set, where for me I was struggling. Like of course I had a job, but like majority of my money was going to my bills and I was just dealing with the scraps. And whereas for her, it's like money here, money here, money there, money here, money there. But because she's already in her dream as far as her career. Whereas for me, I'm still working jobs to ultimately get to my career. And so like with that, you know, that can cause, friction, right? Um, and she was the type of woman where she believes in, you paying her back. Like, say, for example, we go out to dinner and the bill is, I don't know, $40 or 60 or $80. Let's say 80. And yeah, like, okay, I'll cover it. But I want you to give me 40 back. And I never experienced that until her. Whereas for me, like I've always been the type of person where it's like, okay, cool, you take care of this, I take care of this. You take care of that, I take care of that. Boom. There's no reason to pay anybody back. Whereas for her, she believes in you paying her back whenever she take cares of something that was for us, right? Um, took me a while to like accept that about her. Cause again, like I was ignorant to that mindset because I never been with someone or talked to someone that had that mindset. It's like, what? So rather than speak my mind and say how I felt about that, I just kept it in. And there were certain times where like I had to pay her back for certain things. And rather than have those conversations with her and say, hey, I can't take care of you right now, but like let's make a plan. Let's do this, let's do that. Let's set up for this particular day, 2.5 weeks later, and I got you. Rather than do that, like I just didn't say anything and it came across as if I didn't care about, her feelings or wanting to pay her back. And that played a part of us not talking anymore and us going our separate ways. And so I learned to speak your mind, even if it may hurt this person, even though it may come across as a negative. And of course, like as a man, like that hurts your ego and pride a little bit. Like you can't take care of your woman financially. And so, and I'm pretty sure, like, you know, she was thinking like in the moment, we're like, okay, cool. If he can't do this right now, what about the future? You know what I'm saying? And so that's very important. You feel what I'm saying? Financially, um, stability is very important. Is a very important aspect in any relationship. You feel what I'm saying? Um, so I learned that the hard way. You never had someone to sit me down and talk about that. Like I'm learning, literally learning these things with women and learning my lesson by them dumping me or stop talking to me. And like, okay, cool. So moving forward, I now know these bits and pieces of nuggets. It's like, okay, cool. So now it's stuck in me now. So for the next woman, like I know, you feel what I'm saying? So that's a negative when it comes to those things. That's a negative. That that's what happens when someone very very important to you passes away, and now you're learning how to be a man literally as you go with life. You feel what I'm saying? And so um that's the sucky part of him passing away, but um those were the hands that I was dealt. So it is what it is. But yeah, man, that's those are my fears. You feel what I'm saying? Um that's my hesitation. Not to say again, like that's not to say that I don't want someone. That's not to say that I don't want a relationship. That's not to say that I don't want kids or want a marriage. 'Cause obviously I do. Um, it just scares me that I will be alone one day. It scares me that I won't get that marriage. I won't get those kids. And and secondly, it scares me that someone would find a reason in the middle of chaos. Again, argument, misunderstanding, disagreement, um, or any of those relationship things. She's going to use that as her way to leave. You know what I mean? Or just simply, you know what? Wake up in the middle of the day, wake up in the middle of the night and say, you know what? I'm just tired of this guy. I'm gonna pack my stuff and leave. You know what I mean? Because it happens. Because again, someone might not be speaking to you or saying how she really feels. And it gets to a point, it gets to a boiling point where she just like dips out. And now you're stuck trying to figure out like what the hell happened? And so um those are my fears when it comes to a relationship. Yeah. Yeah. My longest relationship was 8 months. And this is the part where yes, I will publicly admit where my jealousy and my enviness comes into play. Excuse me. And I hear stories of this couple being together for X amount of years, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, 50 years, right? And I was like, man, like, how? I'm so jealous of that because I want someone for at least a year. That would be a great milestone. That'd be a wonderful milestone for me to do and catch up to. You know, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys, man. That's all I got for you guys, man. Episode 11. This is cool. You know, um, fears. Again, this came on top of my head. Driving. I think I was either driving to work or leaving work. This idea came into my mind, and I was like, again, I can't just share it with myself. Like I have to put it out there. I have a podcast for a reason. So yeah, those are my fears. Yeah. What are yours? Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Beneath the Surface podcast, man. We're on the journey of going to 20. And here's the first step of that. We did the first 10. Now we're on a journey to 20 with 11. Man, make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content. And until the next one. Yes, sir.